Welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, everybody. Today we're sitting at what I'm calling Metal Art Tower here on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad. This is going to be a quick episode today because I have a soccer game to coach here in a couple of hours. But what I wanted to show you is what happens here while we were pulling this grain train that we put together in a couple episodes ago. What happens when we cross the diamonds here at Metal Art Tower. Well, oops. I, of course, had to edit that out of the original video, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that this time real quick before we turn you loose on another episode. So here we are in the shop on the programming track with this U33C from Atlas, and we see that per the Kadee coupler height gauges, on both ends of the locomotive that the coupler height is probably about 20% of the coupler too low. So that puts the trip pin down below where it should be as well, according to the gauge. That trip pin needs to fit up above that shelf and match the trip pin that's on those gauges themselves. And I was originally thinking about this problem as probably a track work problem, why we were having a derailment over there, or perhaps even the plow being too low on the locomotive. Well, it turns out that we've got this problem here, and that trip pin being too low is a symptom rather than a cause. So we need to raise that coupler up. Over the course of my model railroad career, I've become familiar with several different ways of dealing with this. The first being the guys that like to cut those trip pins off. Get a side cutter, the trip pin is a lie anyway, and cut it off, get rid of it, stop it from causing problems. So that being a lie, also your guys getting off the locomotive and connecting the air hoses, the train line hose in between is a lie as well, right? That's not the solution in my mind. Then the other idea is there's a trip pin pliers that Kadee puts out, and I've learned that over the course of time that very few manufacturing defects exist with the trip pin on these couplers. So that's not the solution either. The real solution is to get the screwdriver and take the coupler boxes off and put the correct coupler on the car. I've also, just of note, have been taught that there's a place for washers that raise the bolster height of the car. That can be a solution in some cases, but I've learned that more times than not, the correct coupler height, the correct offset on the coupler is the solution to the problem. On the Atlas U33Cs, these red box engines, there's just a plastic pin that holds the coupler in. That was originally a horn hook coupler, and what I did on these engines is to attach I modified a Kadee number 5 box and put a centering spring in it and mounted the coupler in that. So what I'm doing here is changing that out. Changing the number 5 for a number 27 here in this case. And the number 27, again, is a underset shank, medium length, with a regular head coupler. That's not a scale coupler. I don't believe the scale couplers are available in offsets. Somebody can correct me from the audience if I'm wrong on that. So then after that coupler swap, we're back up at the programming track here with the Kadee height gauges at both ends, and we see that there's a perfect match between the couplers on the locomotive and the height gauge. The trip pins fit above the little platform on the height gauge, and the coupler pulling faces match exactly the scale coupler on one end and the standard coupler on the other. So we're back here at Metal Art Tower here on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad after the coupler height adjustment on that U33C and watching the engine crash the diamonds here. Looks great. Hope you liked the content here. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.